Hello, hello. Yes, hello. I'm just looking at all the things. This is the point where you like make sure all the things are moving and everything looks good. And I think it's all good. Hello. Good evening and happy Blanche Day. It's Blanche Day. That's a holiday that everybody celebrates. Blanche Day. Yes, if you don't know who I am, my name's Christopher. I'm one half of House 7. And 1 year ago today, we released a game on the Playdate called Blanche, and haven't done much since then, but that's still exciting. The fact that a year has passed is exciting in and of itself, I think. So they tell me. But yes, exciting times, Blanche Day. I can't believe it's been a year. I predicted that I'm going to say that sentence a few times. It probably will come up again, but for now, we could just enjoy the Blancheness. It is Blanche Day. Hope you're all doing well. I am. So is Blanche, and that's good, right? That's a good way to start. Some good happy Blanche times. Was trying to think of what to do for Blanche Day, and I was like, well, of course we could play some games. Well, I've played these before, but we could play them again. They're good. They're good games. They're good quality games. I mean, I didn't design them. They're from various people over hundreds of years of playing cards, but they're all stand-up games. But I had an idea this afternoon. I don't know what, just suddenly was like, ooh, that would be fun. I figured we would take a look at some old versions of Blanche, some kind of stepping stones, milestones, some kind of stone, cornerstones. No, various shapes and importances of stone from the year and a half or so that Blanche was in development. And I went back, I was looking through all the commit history, trying to find like interesting points in the history, and I found way too many. I just kept being like, ooh, that would be a good place to stop and take a look. Oh, look at this. So I had to cut it down because that will run its course, outstay its welcome, whatever the phrase is, way too fast. But I did choose a few that I thought would be kind of fun to take a look at, to stop and peek on, just to see what they're like. I don't think I have any other exciting news or interesting stuff to talk about. Oh, actually, no, we do have one thing. The Blanche has been nominated in the upcoming Playdate Community Awards, which should be coming up soon. That event is, they haven't announced the date yet, but that should be coming soon, and we're super excited. This has been a really, I don't know if everybody watching is super tuned into the Playdate community, but it was quite a year this past year, and so I'm very excited to see the awards event, and even more excited to be nominated, which is kind of fun. I didn't know if we would. Like I said, it's been kind of a strong year. Lots of really good stuff. So we're very grateful to be nominated, and that should be coming up soon. And just a fun time to celebrate Playdateness, a word I just made up. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all. That's all I have to talk about talk-wise. Let's get into the Blanche Day festivities by taking a look at some old Blanches, shall we? Old Blanche time. Or young Blanche time. So it's that weird backwardsness of like something that was old is when it was young, kind of. I don't know if that saying that sentence sounded a lot more profound and deep than I meant it to, whatever. But let's start right at the start. Here's an early Blanche. So hi there, Stod. When we started, when we were putting the project together and trying to figure out exactly how this was going to work, I found a very nice kind of like starter engine for Playdate games from Noble Robot. What are we doing? We're going to start by taking a look at some old Blanches, some old builds of Blanche, and then we're going to dive into playing some games. So when we started, I found this very nice kind of like full-featured engine for getting started quickly with Playdate games from Noble Robot called Noble Engine, and so this was built in that. That's where this menu comes from. But if you want to see, here we go, early Blanche. Here's cribbage. It's totally recognizable as cribbage, if you ask me. I don't know. It looks cribbagey to me. And I drew that triangle. It's not really looking like a triangle now that I look at it. It's a little more Dorito, I think. Triangle adjacent. And as you can see, this was some. So this is the key feature of this version of or tornado. It could be a little tornado. I could see that too. The key feature of this version of cribbage is that you could see Blanche's cards. That changes things up. I don't think this has any. Yeah, we're just playing cards. This didn't actually have any kind of logic, but that's where it starts. That's the start of Blanche. It doesn't even. There's no getting out of it. That's just. There's no. Oh, there's a back. Okay, see, I did do something, and I imagine Gin Rummy's the same, except you have 10 cards. Yeah. Okay, so. This is where a Blanche starts. Oh, Blanche doesn't even play in this game. Here, I'll play all my cards. There's no play. Whatever. Everything's got to start somewhere, and that's a little bit of a start business. So what else? Let's see here. Got all these things loaded up. So here's a slightly later Blanche, still in the old Noble Engine thing, but here now. We've got Diana. We were trying to figure out exactly how things were going to work. Diana made a font that had the values, but also the suits at the letters. So I was able to really quickly make it look a little bit more real. We still have the Dorito Tornado pointer, but I do think this kind of plays, actually, if I remember correctly. Yes, it does, and it scores. So I got the 2 points for the pair, which I'm kind of surprised worked. And I think it actually scores the hands, but it doesn't display anything. No, but it's counting up points. So yeah, see now, this is fun. Still could see Blanche's hand though. I didn't master the art of hiding cards yet, but that's all right. It's a process. And I'm going first again, which... How many different builds did we make? I mean, it's tough to tell because we didn't have like a CI/CD type situation where like there were definitive builds. There's just made changes. So I mean, there were, I don't know, 1,500 commits. I guess that you could in theory have made a build at any of those points, but we didn't really break it down beyond that. So there were a lot. Okay, now I'm just playing this and it's not particularly exciting. Does anything else? I don't remember if anything else works in this. Ooh, no, it doesn't. In fact, we're still playing cribbage, I think. That's interesting. Okay, well, that's where it gets started. If we jump a little bit further, here we go. Now this is interesting. If we, can I restart and then like pause this? Okay, so here you can see early version of the living room. This is kind of the start of the living room vibe with the book on the table. I don't actually know if the book menu concept was ready yet, like if Diana had thought of that yet or whatever. You can see I didn't implement it yet, but you can see a game that is not in Blanche and was never intended to be in Blanche. GOPS. It's Game of Pure Strategy. I was going to say it's a 2-player game, but actually you probably could play it with as many players as you want in theory. I mean, at some point it breaks down, I imagine. But this is I don't actually know what I would call this game. So the game is relatively straightforward. The card in the middle there, we each have a set from ace to king. Ace being the lowest, king the highest. And we're right now kind of like playing. It's sort of trick-taking-ish, I guess. It always feels weird when it's just two players to call it trick-taking, but I guess that is technically what it is. But we're playing for that 3. So that 3 is worth 3 points. And we're playing cards to decide, to win the 3, and the higher card wins. The idea being that like we both know the sets of cards that we have. We each have ace through king, so I know which ones she has, I know which ones she's played, and I can kind of change up my strategy. The intention was never to actually include this game because I sort of figured this is not a fun game to play against a computer, because either it's quasi-random or it adapts to you so much that it's not fun to play. But it's a very easy game to implement. So this was after I finished cribbage. This was an easy game to sort of make and confirm that I had, genericified, if you will, the code for a card game, so that we could work on all the other ones. So this one was just for building. So Blanche wins that because the jack's higher, and she gets 3 points. And now we're on a 9. It's like, well, do I really want to win the 9? I might play a higher card, but then I won't have the higher card for a later thing. And I know she already played her jack. It's an interesting game. There's nothing wrong with the game. I just didn't think it would be fun to play against a computer. But it is very easy to make. So I win the 9. That's great. See, the king is the best one. It's worth 13 points. But do I waste my king on it? And if I remember correctly, I don't think Blanche actually plays this game particularly well. So I don't think she's going to try super hard to get that. But anyway, you play like this back and forth. Whoever has the most points wins. But again, this was never actually intended to be in the game. It was, and it breaks. So that's the fun of jumping back to just a random build back in time. But now if we jump to, I've got my little list of fun builds here. So here, I wonder what's actually in here. Nothing. Penny Ante was not done yet. So Penny Ante is the sort of bonus system in the game when you play games. With Blanche, she gives you pennies, and then you could spend them in this slot machine and win prizes. The basic concept of that was always part of the plan. I wanted there to be some kind of, extra layer to things, kind of extra reason to play the games. But the actual form for Penny Ante took a long time to come up with. And in retrospect, slot machine was super obvious and where I should have started. But one thing that I was trying to do for a long time, jumping ahead yet again, we have the cat now. I don't think the cat was in the picture before. Maybe she was. I don't remember. But anyway, one thing I couldn't get out of my mind was this idea of like buying packs of cards, so that you would buy, you'd get the pennies, and then you'd spend the pennies on like a pack of cards, and it would be kind of like random, collectible card game style, but just playing cards, nothing special, just like a pack of cards. So here are some of my adventures trying to make that work. Pack used to stand for something. I can't remember what. I probably have a note somewhere. But anyway, one idea was that you'd have like a big wall with all the possible cards, and then you'd open a pack with 5 cards in it. So here's one, and they would just kind of go to the spots. And then if you got any duplicates, they would go over into this kind of meter that's on the right side. So I didn't get any duplicates there. And I don't know if it'll happen here, but the idea was that if you finished a column or a row, you'd get a prize. Obviously, those are very different. One of them's 4 cards. One of them takes 13. So there was some undecided, how is this actually going to work-ness that sort of pushed me to say, we're not doing it this way. Oh, here we go. That goes over to the meter there. The one thing I really liked about this was that it was kind of satisfying to make the list of all the cards. And I also liked having the cards pop out of the pack kind of thing, which was fun. But again, I don't know, if we get a 7 of diamonds, I think there is an animation for the prize. And anyway, I couldn't really come up with exactly how this would work. I'm just having fun pushing the button and getting packs of cards now. There were issues abound with this. There's also, I don't know if this takes the same. Okay, well, it will save that practice. We'll go back. But the other idea I had was the same thing, but bingo. So you'd get a bingo card with a random assortment of 25 cards, or maybe 24 with a free space. It works the same way, but in this case, you have more cards that maybe you don't need. So it's like if you don't get a card if you get a card that's not one of the 25, then it would go over into the meter, and then if you filled the meter up, you'd also get a prize. Because I didn't want it to be like true gacha style, like, this was totally wasteful, or just a waste, like I didn't get anything. So the idea was that you'd at least make a little bit of progress, even if it wasn't like the fast progress of getting the bingo. I don't know. This might be faster to do that. No, maybe not. All right, we'll see. I don't know which of the two games is going to yield a prize faster, and I'm only just sort of remembering that I think this version would have the prize animation in it. It's not the one from the actual game. Oh, maybe. How do I keep filling time while I just open up fictitious packs of cards? I'm trying to remember what PAX stood for. I like making things acronyms. I don't think any of them actually ended up in the final game, but that's a design feature of mine. I just like acronyms, I guess. There we go. Yeah. Oh, yes. And the prizes. Oh, see, and now you get a new bingo card, and you keep going. You don't lose the meter progress either. Why the play date? Diana and I were just both fans of the play date and thought it would be fun to make a game. So we were working on a different game. We were working actually on an update for one of our iOS games, and I was having some trouble with it. We were working through a bunch of stuff, and I was like, it would be nice if we could take a break from that and work on a quicker project, like something that the idea was something that we could finish in a couple months, and then get a little momentum, a short win, and then move back on to what we were doing before. The game ended up ballooning in scope until it took a year and a half to make, but I'm happy with the way that it turned out, so it's totally fine. And the prizes, I didn't even mark the prize, which is kind of fun. The prizes, before the prizes were ready, were always just letters. Just a fun side detail. And the profile does not have any information. That's just how that is. Anyway, that was back when Penny Ante was packs of cards. Another fun step along the way, this is when we had 5 games in the pack. However, instead of spades, you may notice, we have German whist, and that's because that was originally the game that I had. I wanted a trick-taking game, and there are not a ton of 2-player trick-taking games. They exist, but there's not like a wide array of them. They're usually 4 players, oddly enough. And so one of the 2-player games or trick-taking games that I like is German whist. So I was like, ooh, this might be a good one for the game. And so it's in here, and it fully works. The game works. It's all in here. German whist. Interestingly, German whist is kind of like that GOPS game that I was talking about before, in that each player starts with a 13-card hand, and we do some trick-taking back and forth to win these cards. So right now we're playing for the Queen of Diamonds. Different from that game, though, is that we're playing to add the Queen of Diamonds, Queen of Clubs, to our hand, rather than just for points. So whatever card I play right now is going out of my hand, and the Queen of Clubs is going to go into my hand. So there's like a back and forth to draft a hand of cards. So whichever one of us wins gets the Queen of Clubs, and then the player that doesn't win gets the next card, which you don't know what it is, just the second card in the deck. So you do this 13 times so that you go through the whole deck, and then you end up with a 13-card hand against a 13-card hand, and then at that point, it's just a normal trick-taking game. play back and forth, follow suit. There's a trump suit. It's the suit of whatever this first card was, so you could see its clubs. And I really like this because it's got that same kind of strategy of like, I don't want to spend my best card right now, because I want to keep that for later. And I think, there's a little bit of like, can I get away with playing? Like in this case, maybe this jack would actually be nice to play because it's kind of high and it would void me in a suit, which is usually pretty good for a trick taking game. But then again, it's the first one. Odds are I'm going to pick up another heart as we go. Anyway, I really enjoy it. I think it's a fun game, and I thought it would be a nice addition to the mix. However, the problem with trick-taking games, especially in this kind of like two-player against a computer situation, is for this game in particular, the meat of the actual like point-getting part of the game is me versus the other player. There are 13 tricks to be won, and all 13 points are going to happen. So if you end up with a bad hand, not only are you not going to get a lot of points, but your opponent is guaranteed to get the points you didn't get. Like all 13 points are going to happen no matter what. So if I can only get 4, my opponent's going to get 9. And it felt kind of weird to play against the computer in that way. Like it was almost like either the computer was going to be very good at it and it wasn't super fun, or you were just going to fall to the randomness of, well, it's a card game and I just got a bad hand and there's nothing I can do. And it's that like kick while you're down kind of situation where I was like, I don't know if I like the feeling of this game compared to the other ones. Like the whole point of this collection was to be kind of comfortable, cozy games. Everybody's just having a nice Sunday afternoon playing some cards. And then there was this one that just kind of felt like maybe the way that it was playing wasn't fitting with that. So I played for a while. I was in the game for a couple days, and then I was like, maybe we try another one. And Spades is one of my favorite trick-taking games, although I've never played it 2-player. I've only played the 4-player kind of partnership style. And one of the nice things about Spades is not all the points are guaranteed because there's a bidding phase, and the points you can get are based on what you bid. So if you still if the same situation happens and you get a bad hand, you're probably not going to get a ton of points, but your opponent's not necessarily going to get like all the rest of the points. They still need to bid well and they need to play well. So there are like a couple extra steps, and that just felt like it was enough to kind of tip things over into, yes, I'm happy with this being in Blanche. So even though this game is great and it's here and it works, it didn't started to feel like maybe it wasn't quite right for the Blanche collection. I'm actually not doing too badly, although Blanche might not be playing too well now that I think about it, but that doesn't matter. And okay, so I get the next card, and now she's going to be leading tricks, but I got whatever the unknown card was. So like a 4 of hearts, that's not a great card. Maybe I give up a card that I don't care about. I mean, I don't have to give the strategy of this game. It's not in the final version of Carte Blanche, but it's a little interesting step along the way. Why not? You could also see the original Blanche avatar. Blanche had not been fully fleshed out design-wise, so we had this version of the Blanche avatar for quite a while before Diana spent some time actually designing the character and fitting her into the world of Blanche. Let's see. What else we got? Is there anything else in this? Probably not. No. Nothing interesting. Okay. Continuing along on our little history journey, here is a build where we started with some slots. So here's a quick, Christopher makes a very quick version of slots before Diana makes a nice looking one. You can see the huge bonus meter that I could draw. I could do rectangles. If you're gonna if it's just rectangles, I could do it. Yeah, see, I can make a little meter. Da-da-da. I'm not even paying attention to how many points I'm getting on that meter, but this when I remember I was on a walk actually, and just thinking about how to make penny ante work as a concept, because it was still, at the time, it was like either that wall or the bingo thing, and it just felt like I couldn't quite make it happen. And I was trying to think through the math, actually. I remember I was trying to think through the math of how many cards you should get in a pack versus how many are potentially good, progress towards getting a prize, versus how many go towards, well, this didn't get you a prize right now, but it's the meter that's kind of like your spillover. Oh, it's not that bad. I was thinking through all that math and like how many variables there were to change, and something just clicked and made me think slot machine. And I was like, a slot machine is so much easier to adjust. Like, I hadn't even gotten to the point of thinking about 3-card poker yet. I don't think. I was just like, a slot machine, it's kind of one lever to change, or maybe two, and we could dial in exactly like how often you win. Like, it doesn't cheat or anything, but like we could just kind of change it to be something that happens some percentage of the time, and tweak that to be about how much we want you to win prizes. And it just kind of like unlocked everything. I was like, ooh, this is it. We're done. Throw everything else away. I'm going to make a slot machine. It always awards the letter Y, because that's my name. That once that idea had kind of come together, I was like, yep, that's it. It's slots. No more questions. We will make slots work. And so it was just a lot of math. In fact, I wrote a script to like play through a bunch of different slot scenarios, and like, should we allow the diagonals? Should we allow this? This will be worth this many points. This type of hand is this many points. And then just kind of Monte Carlo it, like run 10,000 of those and tell me how long it takes to win a prize. And then I was like, well, if it takes you about 10 to 15 minutes to play a game, and how long will it take if you get 2 pennies per game? How long will it take before you get a prize? Like, everything just kind of like became very easy to math out and just simulate. And I was like, this is it. It's slots. There's no going back. As cool as the wall was, and I still do enjoy it. Hey, see, it's still good, but I didn't want to have to think about how to make it fun. Apart from just the fun of watching it happen, which I do appreciate. But anyway, that's when slots happened. And then I've got one last build to take a look at. Like I said, there were a lot of interesting milestones I could have stopped at and taken a look at. I just tried to pick a few that I thought would be interesting to talk about. And so I thought I'd grab one when we started the book. So this is one of the first entries with the working book. And in fact, let me do this, restart it and pause it. You see early version of the Carte Blanche logo. There actually was an earlier version than this, but I don't know if it was ever on the book. Maybe it was. But another interesting note, this book's not tall enough. Keen Carte Blanche players will know there's also a credits page, so there should be a tab sticking out for credits, but it wouldn't fit in this book. I don't know how much bigger we made this. I think I actually brought the tabs closer together, but I think we did make this book a little bit bigger, because when it opens, it's a bigger book. So I think that book did end up bigger. Now I'm going to have to actually look. We'll take a look when we switch over to the real game. Oh yes, this is also the time when I thought that having the tabs be backwards when they flip over to the left side was a good idea. So like, if you do this, you could see this is a lovely page. That's what that's supposed to look like. Why not? Anyway, I spent some time making these tabs work backwards when they were on the left side. And it's one of those things that I spent not a ton of time, but a little too much time for the immediate realization that why do that? Just make them readable on both sides. Who cares if it doesn't make sense? But it was fun. It was a fun little time. What does this do? Nothing. Not what it said it did, at least. But anyway, this was the start of the book. We did have some ideas of trying to figure out what the transition was going to be, and sort of dreading the idea of animating a page turn. And so I, in my quasi lazy, but quasi clever, maybe, programmer developer sense, I was like, what if I just kind of like bounce the book that, and just make the page change when the book's in the animation. And it looked good enough, and it stayed that way forever. That's how it works. Just as a little shaky shake. And I like it. I think it looks... Oh, that one just drops you right in, doesn't it? I did not know that was going to happen. You can see, if I pause this fast enough, this is the living room scene. We've kind of moved towards... This might have been in the previous build, actually. I wasn't paying close enough attention, but it used to be a little more straight on, and this is the more isometric angle that we ended up with. This art did still change. This isn't the version that's in the game. Diana set up this whole scene and in like, grayscale, and then dithered it and gave it to me as an image. This was the kind of switch to isometric, which I think helped make some things work. And here's a fun fact I completely forgot about. This shelf on the right. So one of the original ideas, at this point we must have, I don't think, let me let it play for a second. Does this have a gallery? It's just this fake one. No, hold on, wait. Yeah. At this point, we must have started to think through what the prizes were going to be, that they're just like items that Blanche found kind of Corvid style and brought to her house for the concept of prizes. One of the ideas was we wanted the prizes. Well, actually, Diana was championing this a lot, and I think, it ended up being complicated to do, and so we ended up not doing it, but I liked the idea, was that we wanted the prizes to have a little bit more than just being kind of checkboxes in a list. So like in the final game, there's a gallery, and you could see all the prizes you won. They're kind of in a row, and you could also see a list. And you could bring each one up and read the little information on it. But we thought it would be fun if you could do something else to kind of highlight a prize or give it a little bit something more. So the idea was that you were going to be able to choose one, or it looks like maybe two, as like your favorites, and they would render here on the screen on this little shelf, so that you're kind of customizing your home screen, if you will, with one or two prizes that you really liked. I think one of the main issues we were having was it was really constraining the design of the prizes, like the image for the prizes. And in trying to figure out how to make the prizes and how many there were going to be, it was like, we don't need another thing tying it down and making it more complicated. So I think we ended up not doing it. But it was a very cute idea, and I really liked this. And we tried to think through a couple other things that might be nice little customization options, and just didn't get around to incorporating any of them. But if we get around to a Blanche 2 for some other platform, perhaps, then I would love to revisit kind of the customization for the prizes, giving the prizes a little bit something, especially if you get to choose your favorite, because like some of them I really like, and I feel like maybe it's wishful thinking, but I think some other people might like have their favorite prize that they've won. I'm somewhat partial to the straw, the drinking straw, because that's the one that I drew in a lot of the mock-ups, because with my limited drawing capability, I was able to draw a straw, and the straw pretty much, Diana made an actual drawing of one in it, but it is similar to mine because it's not that complicated a shape, and so I'm somewhat partial to the straw, and I'd like to show the world my love of the straw. Is there anything else in this? I don't think there's anything. Oh, we have a version of the slot machine. Yes, so this was when we still had this meter. It was still the rectangle meter that I had made. I think we thought that it was a little too kind of overbearing, if that's the right word. Like it was very prominent, maybe. That's the word I want. So we ended up making it fewer steps. So again, once we kind of settled on the slot machine, we were able to dial in exactly how many points you get and how many points it takes to get a prize and stuff like that. So we brought it down, so now you only need to get 5 points but fewer things get you points. So, for example, if you get a pair, it's on the pay lines. It's 3-card poker hands. There are 5 different hands you can get in 3-card poker, and if you get a pair, it used to get you points in this meter, but now it just gets you coins. And I kind of liked the way that worked out better because it's a lot more likely to get the pair. So it's kind of fun to just win enough to be able to continue playing, even though you're not making progress towards getting a prize. Kind of weird, almost not aggressive. I don't know what word I want, but like quasi-evil game design that comes along with slot machines, but it's all for the fun of, getting prizes in this little bird game. So it's not that bad. Not like we're taking your money or anything. But anyway, yeah, it looks like we did have some, is this, no, it's not. Or does it? Did this have, no, it did not. You can use the, I won the letter Y again. Can you believe it? You can use the crank, because that was the thing when we were deciding, when we were coming up with what we wanted to do for this project in the first place, like at the very beginning. One of the ideas, like I said, was to have something that was eventually going to be this. And the original thought was just a straight up gashapon machine that like you'd turn the crank, you'd like put a penny in, you'd turn the crank, and then, a gumball would come out. Oh, in fact, actually, I'm just remembering right now, it was going to be an egg because it's a bird. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't really know how that fits into the lore of a bird giving you a prize in an egg. I don't know. We didn't do it. She just gives them to you. But anyway, that was the original idea, was that you would get an egg, like an Easter egg. Anyway, you could use the crank. We kept that in the slot machine, so you can use the crank, and it does animate in the game, but it doesn't in this build. I just tested it. But anyway, that was a little walk down Blanche memory lane. There's an early version of the penny icon there. Remembering all these things. Like I said, there are some other kind of steps along the way, and even after this, that I think might be interesting someday. Maybe I'll write something up or put some pictures somewhere. But anyway, enough old Blanche. Let's look at new Blanche. Push all the buttons. What does this button do? Oh, that's good. All right, let's play some actual Blanche. You know what I should do though is probably delete my save data, because I have no idea what the format of this save data is going to be. So we're going to start. Nope. That's not what I wanted. There she is. Okay. Oh, well, hold on. Now the music's going to play twice. See, I should have prepared a little bit more, but we're going to start on a fresh save here. But I need to turn the music down because I have different music playing. Well, it's the same music actually, but it's playing separately. Okay, let's get to some actual Blanche. Thanks for joining me on the first half of our adventure, looking through Blanche history. Let's see, what should we play? I usually play them in book order, but I've done that a couple times. Alphabetical order could be fun. We'd finish with Spite and Malice. Is that a good one to end on? I don't know. Let's. I haven't thought ahead enough. I just was looking at all the Blanche builds. I didn't think through which games to play. Let's go. Let's do it. We'll do it alphabetical order. Why not? Why not? So we're starting with Casino. Actually, I'm going to use this to control it because I think this will work. Yes. Okay. Since this is a new profile, I didn't get the visiting card yet, so that's going to happen when I come back out, I guess. I can't remember how this works. It's been a long time. But let's play some Casino. All right. A reminder for those who aren't aware, there's no guarantee I'm actually going to be good at any of these games. The promise here, or the fun here, is, developer plays his own game, not card game expert plays some wonderful cards. But we'll try our best. So we could do a build here with 7. Make some 7s. As long as Blanche doesn't take them, which she didn't. And then we can capture it. As I've mentioned before, Casino was sort of the game I wanted to make work the most, but also the game I thought would not work the most. With such a small screen and just a D-pad and 2 buttons, I was like, I don't know if we could make an interface that's going to read for this game, especially since we certainly wanted to tailor to people who were not familiar with these games. So there needed to be kind of an educational, informative aspect to it, but also not get in your way when you do know how to play. So there was a lot on the line. I think it turned out pretty nicely. I'm happy to include Casino. I wanted a fishing game of some sort, for sure. There are a couple, but this is one of my favorites. It's just kind of interesting how complex it is for a card game. I feel like, I don't know, there's something about it that just feels like, I don't know how old this game is. I don't even know if we as a collective know how old it is. It's just kind of one of those things with old games. But it feels like a much more modern design than I think it actually probably is. And I think that's why I like it. I've always been sort of attracted to the not necessarily complex games. Like, the game doesn't need to be complex. Just the idea that there's so many kind of like elements to the game, even if the gameplay itself is simple, from just a deck of cards. Like that kind of thing is that's fun to me. I like that. Now, what? You got to do a little bit of math here. I could build a 10 and it would have an ace, and that would be good. And that's what I'm gonna do, I think, because I could build this, and I could put the 10 in there. Yeah. And it's the 10 of diamonds, which I just realized. The 10 of diamonds is worth points in this game. Yes, this is all good. You'd think I remembered how to play the game. It's that wonderful. And sometimes nothing exciting happens and we just both play a bunch of cards. But that's... Ooh, now you see, this is difficult. I want these aces. Aces are worth points. They're just straight up points. But I don't have a way to instantly collect them. So they're going to be a little vulnerable if I put it out there. In fact, if I put it out there, she's almost certainly going to take it. So I think I need to build it into something like this. And this is a multiple build, so it can't be used as a 3. It can only be collected as a 3. That sentence didn't make much sense. Sorry. You couldn't combine it with something else to make a bigger value. It needs to be collected as just a 3. For a while in development, I really wanted to try to introduce some new terminology to differentiate. So I did end up losing one of those aces, but what can you do? I wanted to introduce some new terminology to differentiate the two different types of builds in this game, because this game is interesting because I don't find it actually that complex. There are a lot of pieces and there's definitely a learning curve, but I feel like once you do know how this game works, it kind of makes sense. There's some intuitive bits to it, but that learning curve is tough to get over. And so just thinking of how to teach it, I was pondering, like playing around with the idea of introducing some new terminology that I was making up with the express purpose of teaching the game. Opted not to use it, although it does still exist in the code, fun fact, but it doesn't actually show up anywhere here. This screen was redesigned after launch. This is a 1.1 edition. So I've got 9 points towards the 21 I need to win. But anyway, I was trying to introduce it. So there are two types of builds. There's the single build, which is the one that's a little bit more vulnerable. And then there's a multiple build, which is a little more secure. I tend to think of them as like the single build that can turn into something else as a growing kind of action, whereas the multiple build is multiple groups of the same value. So I think of that as like gathering. So I was trying to make grow and gather work as words. Not what I meant to do just there. And there's a reason. See, you got to pay attention because Blanche will not let up when card games are on the line. Anyway, I'm rambling a lot about these words. My point is we did not include them because I was starting to think it was going to overcomplicate things and make it worse. But I still do think of it that way. So, maybe that'll show up somewhere else. I can take this jack. Casino is also a game that has a lot of variants and other ways to play. There's Draw Casino, which is like we're playing 4 cards at a time and then drawing a fresh hand of 4. You could also play where every time you play a card, you just immediately draw a replacement. So there's not the cadence of 4 cards at a time. Wow, that was a big play. Yeah, this is fine. So there's Draw Casino where you get the individual cards as you play. There's also Royal Casino. I think Royal Casino. Yes, Royal Casino, which is where in the version that we're playing here, jacks, queens, and kings can only capture cards of the same exact value. They don't have like any value other than what they are. So a king can capture a king, and that's it. In Royal Casino, they just kind of continue the numbers. So Jack is an 11, Queen is 12, King is 13, and the game plays the same as it would as if you had a number 13 cards. So you could make a build with a king that adds up to 13, for example. And there are tons of other variants of the game. I tended to have the feeling throughout the development of Blanche that we would just present one option, this is how Blanche plays. You're at her place of business and you're playing the games the way she's teaching them to you, the way that she plays, and therefore you play them the way that she plays. So that was somewhat a conscious decision to say, this is how these games are going to play, and we're not going to provide like a bunch of options, for example, to let you customize, like, oh, I used to play Casino this way. Like you're playing it Blanche's way. We've had we've got an iOS game that we made a long time ago, Kiki's Koi Koi. It's an adaptation of a Japanese card game, and that's another game that's a game that also has a lot of kind of variations. People are used to playing it one way or another, and a lot of the feedback we get is, oh, I used to play it with such and such rule. Could you add it? And it does tend to complicate things when you start adding a bunch of rules, so I try not to. Here, I felt like I had the narrative side of, you're playing it Blanche's way. She's teaching you. This is how she plays. So, yes, build a 4 with this. Nice. So we're just playing kind of standard with some air quotes casino here. Skip through all this. Ooh, it's tied now though. So I didn't actually do particularly well now that I'm looking at the spread of cards that happened. I got those 2 aces just a few moments ago, but that was it for points. So I should bring the scoreboard back up. We did a Cribbage Day tournament. Cribbage Day was about 2 weeks ago, and we did a little tournament, Blanche and I, and I had a scoreboard for that. I should bring that back up. Maybe we'll keep track of our plays here, see who wins. If I've got the buttons for that. I think I've got the right buttons in the Stream Deck. It's like, what is this, the thing I'm pointing at here? You could all see me pointing, right? That's how this works. 5 5, yes. So what else is going on? Any other exciting card game news out there? People playing card games? Doesn't have to be one of the Blanche ones. Just nice to know what card games are going on. Blanche didn't ask me to say that or anything. So let's do a 10 build like this. Oh, see, no, I wanted that 4. Well, what can you do? If you take that queen, that would actually be nice. No. Okay, that's fine. And no. Nothing there. But that's okay. Whap! Wrong button. Ooh, alright. Starting off with the mathiest of the options. I feel like people do tend to assume that card games deal with a lot of math because there are so many numbers. It's not always math. It's certainly not always math you have to do. So like Gin Rummy, there's a little bit of math, but Blanche does it for you. So worry not. The queen. Still not doing particularly well now that I'm paying attention here. Blanche has 2 aces and the 10 of diamonds, which is a decent number of points right off the bat. See if we can get an 8 to happen here. No. And she's going to collect that, so that's fine. She's at 25, so probably going to get the points for most cards. Yeah. I don't want to give up the ace, but I guess it's somewhat safe, maybe? Ah, no, not safe enough. Oh, and Blanche wins. Blanche got the 21. Nicely done. You know what? I am going to bring up the... I got all the buttons here. Da-da-da-da-da. And we got to give Blanche a point. We won't necessarily play to 5, but we'll keep track. Blanche won. That was Blanche, right? Yes. Blanche won 1. And I got some pennies, which is nice. And I think I'm going to get the... Oh, I hit play again. I didn't mean that. But I do think I'm going to get the... No. Did not get the visiting card. Okay, we don't know why that happened. Shouldn't I have? Okay, that's a problem for a different time. Okay, 1 game down. Casino. Well played. But I did lose. So Blanche is on the board. I don't know. I just decided we're using this thing. Blanche is on the board for 1 game, but we're going alphabetical order. So next is cribbage. I'm pushing the button to make the cribbage happen. Oh, wait. It is happening. Sorry, my preview is not working. There's your problem. All right. Sorry about that. Let's do some real cribbage. Now, I did just play a cribbage tournament against Blanche for Cribbage Day a couple weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. If you want to check it out, it's on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@house7. I don't know why I felt like saying that out loud. I won't spoil how it went, but it was a lot of fun. So do go check that out. Not my crib. I guess. Do this. A little bit of this, I guess, because then if she plays the 9. Oh, nice. Huzzah! Huzzah. Why not? All right, getting off to a decent start. Couple points. Wow, a lot of 15s. These 15s will get you. Ooh, and oh yeah, king 4 ace. Okay. I've mentioned before, love a fun 15. So every time I see a 15 and I didn't expect it, I gotta inspect. I gotta figure out like, ooh, what was where did it come from? What was it all about? Okay, so it's my crib, so I'm gonna put the pair in there and hope for something good here. Could have been better. Could have been much worse. That's what I always say. I'm always saying that. Ooh. Gonna be clicking things over here. It's good, some good 15s. I've just got the one. I was kind of hoping more, and a run of 3. I forgot that would be worth points. I was just kind of hoping I would get a 5, and then it would be like a lot of fun 15s. Ooh, wow, a 3 of a kind in the crib is kind of fun. All right, now what do we do here? 4, 4, 7. It's nice, and maybe we get a 5. How many times do I hope for a 5? Would have been cool though, right? We all agree. 8 out of 10 dentists agree. Eight out of 10 dentists? 9? Some number of dentists. Oops. Ooh, and there's a flush, which is kind of fun. I feel like that doesn't happen super often. All right. It's pretty even, though. 36 to 31. Ooh, now... I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep the 9-10 jack because it's more, yeah, I'm happy with that. It could have been better, but oh, a 10. Sorry, I was looking off to the side. Let's do a 9. Okay. I always get scared when I've just got those couple cards. Like, it doesn't really matter. Blanche is going to have the card she has. You know, like you can't change it. But I'm always like, oh, I'm going to make the wrong choice. Not too bad. Crib was nothing though. All right, we're keeping it even. That's important. 2, 2, 3. Not my crib either. This is... I'm going to split this pair. I don't know if that's a good idea, but... yeah, might have been better to keep it, but... 6, 6, 3. Fun 15. See. You understand. I had to do it. Oh, don't have a 10. Why did I do that? Too late. There we go. Not too bad then. I think it would have been better if I had the 2, but I don't know. Then I would have given something else up. So you never know how it's going to turn out unless you do the math. And I didn't feel like doing the math. No math today. No unnecessary math. Sometimes you have to math. But we could also just play it and see, how the cards lie. I'm totally blanking on the relevant phrase here. Now, you see, this looks good. 2 6s, 2 9s. I think that's going to be really good. Oh, a runner 3 and a 31 is pretty nice. That's impressive, I gotta say. Ooh, and I should have done this. Well, she would have gotten 15 then, so, and it doesn't matter how that one turned out. Not a ton going on there, right? A little 15, but oh, 2 15s because there are 2 6s. Okay, but watch this. This is going to be the fun one. Yeah, and then a little bit of this. Then it's 15s. We gather all the 15s together. Even this one, 6 6. Nope, this one, 6 6 3. 5 15s. I like it. And just a pair there. Nothing much. But anyway, it was fun. We had fun with those. 5 6 7 is interesting. Right? Well, I can mess everything up. I'm messing everything up because I want the fun 15s and because I don't want to think about it anymore. We're just going for it. Oh, we did get a 4. See, if I had kept the 5, that would have been cool. But whatever. Fun 15s ahead. This is the fun 15 strategy. Well known among the cribbage populace. It's not, but it was fun to pretend it was. Fun 15. Fun 15. Oh, unexpected 15. 7224. Yeah. Wow. See, the fun 15s, you gotta have fun. It's all about fun. That's what Blanche would say. As usual, I think I get to say what Blanche would say, right? Is that how that works? I think Blanche would say that was fun. She is in the lead now, though. So she can say whatever she wants. Okay, let's do... That's my crib, so let's put these in here and... No, go get a 4. Okay. And crib's going to be fun, then. That's a 3 of a kind. I don't want to do that, though. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I need not have worried in retrospect. Yeah. It's a lot of points. I don't think I have quite that many coming my way. This, though, I forgot already. The 3 of a kind. I mean, it's 6 points. Who really cares? But it's fun. Fun points all around. I mean, fun 15s are great, but fun points just in general. I'm on board. Not my crib either. Let's do... You know what? I'm going to do what I did last time. Or at least what I think I did last time. Yeah, like, look, this is going to be kind of fun, right? A couple fun 15s. All right, let's do 9. Oh, a 31. We get a couple points there. That's something. All right. Here we go. We're going to let these fun 15s count themselves out. Does 942 count as a fun 15? I don't know. Sure. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Well. Ooh, oh, those are fun 15s, though. Oh, no. Those are really fun. Oh, that's too fun. No. Oh, and the... Ooh. Okay. Well, let me prepare the proper buttons here. As Blanche wins. It's 2 games for Blanche. Got some pennies, though. All right. 2 games down, both for Blanche. We're not officially playing a tournament here or anything, and I'm not just saying that because I'm down 2-0, but we're keeping track, and Blanche has been playing pretty well. Way to go, Blanche. It is Blanche Day. I don't know when Blanche's birthday is, but we could call it February 25th. Why not? All right, Gin Rummy time. Gin Rummy. So when we started the project, cribbage was absolute number 1. We're definitely doing cribbage. Gin Rummy was quick second because Gin Rummy is one of my favorite card games. So it's like, yes, we are doing that. No, I don't want that. And therefore, this is the second game we made. We did cribbage first, and then Gin Rummy. This queen's doing me no good. Did she take it? I just realized. Okay. And she took that. So, yeah, well, I'm taking this. I forgot to check the level of the microphone if you could hear me clicking. I'm using my Playdate as the controller, and it might be clicking loudly. Apologies if it is. It doesn't look like it is, but I won't know. Let's do this. Hoping for a 6 would be just grand. Well, okay. It's not quite grand. This screen took a while to design as well. I could not settle on how I wanted this to be laid out. And it was a lot of screen real estate every which way I did it. And I'm happy with what we ended up with, but it took a lot of iterations to get there. Fun fact, those screens that show up in between the hands are called the hand summaries. Oh, it should be round summary. That's a footnote for a later conversation. But they're the hand summaries. Look at this. This was fast. This has got to be worth some points. Let's just skip through it. And 31. It's not too bad. She's still got some melds in there, though. Maybe she was dealt those. Anyway, that screen is called the hand summary. So that is the Rummy hand summary, which I shortened to Rummy Summy. And it's not called that in the code, but it definitely is called that in our source control. Because it's just fun to say Rummy Summy. Happy with the jacks, but we're a little bit of a mess everywhere else here. See, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to hope it turns into something. There's way too much. What do you do here? Okay, so this has 2 outs, but one of them is a 5, which would help me with the 2 5s that have 2 outs as well. So I'm going to get rid of this. Hey, okay, but that's not enough. But I feel justified in my choice, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't want to knock with 10. We're going one more. Oh, well, it's probably not good. Oh. And I get to lay off. Wow. Okay, this worked out in the weirdest way. That would have worked out anyway, even if I didn't lay off, because a tie is an undercut. But that was fun. Okay, so I don't want to point this out, but I got the points this time around. The tide is turning. That's a phrase, right? It's one of I just say that you say it, and then I'm like instantly like, I don't think that's actually a phrase. I think I just made that up. Because what is a turning tide? Is it changing from like low to high? Is turn the verb for that? These are the important Blanche Day questions we're all asking. I guess I get rid of this. Is this the same problem? They're 2 weights, but one of them is an ace, and I'm already waiting for it. And this is nothing. Well, for some of us, it's nothing. Not. Oh, we're not playing cribbage. Sorry, I didn't push the proper buttons. Okay, yes, I'm happy with this. This is good. See? Okay, 15's not bad. It's been completely me though. It's a complete blowout so far. I know I'm tempting fate saying it, but Blanche even knocked once, and I'm still ahead. So I don't know. Not just ahead. I'm the only one with points. Ooh, that's fun. So well, that makes the 9 interesting because it doesn't have to be part of the run anymore. Same with that 6, actually. It's kind of, well, it's all for naught. Never mind. Blanche, I was trying to analyze the interesting makeup of my hand. I don't think I could lay anything off on that. Yep, okay. Well, there goes the blowout. But that's okay. Still a pretty good lead. And we've been dealt 3 jacks. I'm going to keep that for 1. It's probably a mistake. Okay, we're giving up. Forget the queens. No. No more. we just have to win. Okay, this is looking good. We have an 8 that we'd love to offload. I'll swap the 3 for an 8. Because now we've got some interesting weights down at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of dissatisfying when it's like knock with 9 or knock with 10. I kind of want to bring it all the way down, but I'm not tempting fate. We just need to win. Ooh. Well, still points. 11 points. Play to 100. Well, no. I'll get rid of the jack. We got some interesting face card options. Yeah, see? So that worked out. The rest of the hand is a mess, but that resolved itself. Oh. I see. 5, eh? Oh, okay. Lay off a couple is nice. 29. Not bad. We're just making it exciting. It's Blanche Day. It's exciting times. Right? I'll take that. And then we drop the jack. The spam message that we got earlier in the Twitch chat was from a user. His name is Disruptive Conjunction, and I've just been thinking about that phrase. Like, what is a disruptive conjunction? But, I guess. Because, like, and, that's not disruptive. That it's carrying on. Same with or. I mean, or is a little bit, because now we're introducing the little bit of tension in a choice. But if you have but, that completely flips everything around. Now you were thinking one thing and now there's a different thing. It's completely, it's disruptive. So I think that is the most, I mean, there are more conjunctions than just those 3. Ooh. My hand was kind of high points. Not so sure. I haven't been paying attention to see. Oh no, 20. She's catching up. Normally I kind of like taking an ace because it's only one, but you know what? I'm taking it. Let's check back to this moment in a few minutes to see if that was a poor decision. As of now, anything's possible. I think I need to give up on these 9s. Ooh, but then that happens. No. We're going low. We need to keep the deadwood low because this is not working out. This is not the one. So take the 3. Oh, yeah. So this is why it's nice that it does the math for you, because I don't think I would have at a glance noticed that this was going to be 9. Thank you, past Christopher, for doing the math. Or maybe canonically it's Blanche that does the math for you, although that kind of breaks the... she shouldn't know what cards you have, so I guess it's not her. I take it back. It's not her. Or it's not she. All right. We're keeping it exciting, though. 90 to 73. With a really high point hand that I'm not appreciative of. Again, we just want to get the deadwood down. This hand's a mess. We don't care. Just get rid of it. Yeah, you know what? We're just swapping cards. We're just getting the number down because 27 would be bad. Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna... Oh, okay. Whew, that was good. That could have gone either way. All right. We got this 4, 4, 5, 6 weirdness. Ooh, doesn't matter. Instantly can't remember what I had, but 4, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. Look at that. There we go. Not too bad. 6 points. You could have it. We're keeping it tight and exciting. Here we go. You don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, just still scared. Well, ooh, no. Hey, not bad. Not great. Let's see. But now I know the 6 of spades is gone, so that only has 1 weight, and it's not great. Okay, that's pretty nice. I gotta do it. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but I can't let it go on any longer. Come on. I could push the button and make it go fast, but... Oh, 4 points. Okay, we're still in it, though. And I definitely don't think I would have lasted another draw, so I think that was the right move. But still scary. And Deadwood's down to 17, which is not enough to give her the win, so I'm not as concerned. Ooh, this is fun. Wow, this is really fun. Okay, so we have 5, 6, 7 of diamonds, and then 7, 7, 7, and this just kind of fits in. It's a point. This is really good. I just really liked that. I would have rearranged the cards to show how exciting that was, but here, it just does it automatically for you. This has got to be good. She didn't have any time. She laid off a 9, but oh, look at that. Nothing. It's a win. Flip over to the button. I gotta go all the way to the other side. Yeah. 1 point for Christopher. He's great. Do I have the right? I do. Okay, yes. Woohoo! All right. 4 pennies. Pretty good. We'll spend those later. I did completely wipe this save. This is not the one from the cribbage day situation. Okay. 2 to 1. Again, it's not a tournament. I mean, maybe if... No, it's not a tournament. no matter what happens. But it is 2-1. Blanche is ahead. We're going into spades. And then if I win spades, it all comes down to spite and malice, and that would be kind of fun to end as like a nail biting tournament. Or I guess birds don't have nails to bite, but whatever. I mean, there's a lot of canon that's undecided how Blanche plays cards in the first place. Take an ace. Take a spade. Yes. Okay. Now this one is harder. I'm going to go for here. Yeah, well, win some, you lose some. So that's just how dichotomies work. We did a lot of work on spades, because spades did solve some of my problems. As I had mentioned before, German whist had some issues with how it felt compared to the other games. Spades was better, but still had some issues that made it feel very different. The first and most glaring of which is that it takes a very long time. So like by default, just kind of, or not by default, but like as a standard, spades is usually played to 500 points, and you get negative points when you don't make your bid, and the sandbag penalty is often 100 points. So with that's how I started, and we used that at the beginning. And then games were taking about, like the other games, now we got to do some counting, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty good with 5. Not very good on spades, but maybe I could sneak a couple other ones in. I'm going to keep it conservative and say 5, even though I think I could do more like 6 or 7, because I'm usually wrong. Most of the other games I was able to play in like 10 minutes or so a session. But spades, when we started out with like the full standard rules, games were taking about 45 minutes to play. And I was like, this is not the same experience. I don't know if this is what I want. And so I did a lot of tweaking to just the gameplay in general. Just realized she only bid 4. Interesting. Did a lot of tweaking to the gameplay in general, but also played with all the scoring and tweaked it to try to make it so that the game would not like last forever. Because it was a lot of going back and forth. Whoops, I meant this. It was a lot of going back and forth because you lose points when you don't make your bid normally. And so it's just like you'd get a couple points and then you'd lose points, and then you'd get points and then she'd lose points, and it was just like back and I keep meaning to push the button. It was just taking forever, and I did not think it felt the same as the other games, so it took a little bit of finagling to get it to where we ended up. I did like this idea because this is kind of how people lay out tricks in a trick-taking game. They take the packet of cards and then they set them aside, and then they usually kind of make this little like one vertical, one horizontal, like back and forth thing that's somewhat standard, and I kind of liked the way that looked. But I don't think we actually had an image of the back of this small version of this card. So I think I did, like, somewhere in the end of working on spades, I have to ask Diana, like, can you imagine what the back of this card would look like when it's small? But anyway, so the version of spades we ended up with is 200 points, no penalty for not making your bid, and you only lose 50 points for the sandbags, which did speed it up quite a bit. If I were going to play around with giving players options, this game is probably one that I would do that for, just because I think people are expecting it to be a little bit different than it is, but I don't know. Yeah. But that's what happens. I think I prefer that. The ace over the low spade. No spades so far. Do I take this guaranteed spade now? A 7 is not great. Okay. Better than a 7 of clubs, I guess. There's no point in being void in spades. Usually, being void in a suit is, pretty good. It's a positive thing in a trick-taking game. Not spades, though. Not the trump suit. You don't want that. Three. Okay. Well, what do I have then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, like my quick math tells me I could probably do 7. Then I would get scared and then drop it down to 6, but she only went 3. I'm gonna go 7. I think I could do it. A lot of hearts, though, and that's not great. It's the opposite thing. If you're playing a trick-taking game with a trump suit, you don't want to have a suit that you have a lot of cards in, because then somebody else could be void in it, and they end up winning. Not too bad, and I have a guaranteed win on the king. So I have one more coming to me, probably a second one with the jack. So can I give one up? Yes. She has the ace, but that's fine. Definitely win with the king. So I'm going to win with this then instead. Now we'll play this. And if I could lose the rest of these, that'd be great. But they're kind of high. You have a heart. Ah, well, that's just about the same. And I know you don't have any clubs, so that's not too bad. Ooh, you don't want to give up the ace of spades. That's bad. One of the interesting things about this game is, well, one kind of interesting end result, I guess, of the games that we chose is that, let me see, cribbage, gin rummy, casino, actually, and kind of spite and malice now that I think about it. So yes, I'm realizing this live as I talk about it. Man, and I gave up the king as well. Okay, well, at least they're not in play. This game, both players score points in a round. In the other games, you kind of know somebody's going to win because you're only scoring 1 point, one player at a time. So there's no like timing of 2 people doing it at the same time, and you have to resolve like ties and stuff like that. Although for some reason I feel like some other game did have a tie, but I can't imagine what it was. Anyway, so you do have to think about the fact that this game could end in a draw, and it does just end, and it says it was a draw. It doesn't like keep playing until there's a guaranteed winner. One player, the game just ends and it's a draw. But a draw, there has to be another game because I remember adding this. A draw at carte blanche is a win for the player. That's Blanche's rule. What other game has a draw? Okay, let's see. Void, basically void in hearts because I have the ace. So let's say that's 2. I have an ace of diamonds. That's another one. Not great anywhere else, but somewhat long in spades, but they're not great. So 5? Let's say 5. And let's void in hearts immediately. Very nice. Hope I can pick up a couple with this hearts play. Now, there's no way I'm going to win these 2. So I'm wondering if I do just give up this 3, let her win it. I was kind of hoping she'd play a hearts card, but that's okay. It'll come around. There we go. And then we'll win this. And so I know the ace and the king are gone. So we have the queen and the jack, but then I have the 10, 9, 8, and 7. So I'm guaranteed to win 3 more tricks, actually. Yeah. So that's too many. So let's give one up. I don't want to do that. Oh, okay. Do you do you not have any more spades? Oh, okay. Well, then I did. She didn't make her bid, which is nice for me. Okay, so we don't need too many points to win this one. It's feeling pretty good. Oh, Spite and Malice can have a draw. That's what it is. So in Spite and Malice, you can play Spite and Malice a number of ways. We haven't played that yet tonight, so I'm speaking out of order, I guess, a little bit. But you do the way that we play Spite and Malice with Carte Blanche is you're just trying to empty your pile, and it's the first player that does so that wins, and they just win. That's the end of the game. You can play where like that player then gets points equal to how many cards the other player has left, and play to some score. That's another common option, but we just did the one and done situation. However, if you run through the deck, you can't keep playing, so we end the game, and at that point it's whoever has fewer cards remaining in their deck. And so in that case you can have a tie where both players have the same amount. That's got to be what it is. I just remember extensively testing to make sure that ties, like draws, worked the way that we wanted them to. Okay, so she's bidding 6. I only need to make 3. However, if I underbid too far, I could end up taking too many. I mean, 7 over tricks would be a lot. I just don't think that's going to happen, but let's just be somewhat sensible here. Let's say we only get 2 of those diamonds. We're voiding clubs, so let's call that, well, we're pretty much voiding clubs, so let's call that 1 more. And then 2 from those spades, maybe. Let's say 5. And now we're voiding clubs. And there we go. Is it still called finesse if it's... I don't know if that's technically a finesse. Trick-taking people, help me out. But I was going to say finesse the spade out, but you played the lower one, so I guess that's not a finesse. Never mind. Card game terminology with Christopher. I've lost track. I don't remember if there's a higher spade out there. Well, now I don't care. There's not. So I am going to take too many tricks, but I think the math works out in my favor. She's going to make her bid, just barely, but I make mine, and that is the scoring one. Ta-da! Very nice. And I had a perfect bid in there somewhere. I don't even remember that. Okay, I push this button again. Bam! 2-2. Very nice. So that means if this were a tournament, which it's not, but if it were, it all comes down to Spite and Malice. Unless we were going to play to 5, because that's what we did for the cribbage tournament. But it's, you know, we're just gonna play a little Spite and Malice, and we won't say that the winner takes all here, but you can imagine that it is. That's just how Blanche and I work, you know. Oh, I didn't push the button. I said that the lower third. I gotta make little post-it notes to remind me to change things. Anyway, we have a king, which is good. We'll play it as a 2. Spite and Malice is another favorite of mine. This was high on the list of I hope we can make... Well, I knew we could make this work. My concern with this was I didn't know if we'd be able to fit it on the screen. You can see this game does take up pretty much as much of the screen as you can imagine we can use. And it sort of dictated a little bit of how this plays, because you could play this with other setups. Like you could have more of the foundation piles, but I could only fit 3, so we play with 3. We also only play with 2 decks of cards. I think for a 2-player game of Spite and Malice, you would probably play with 3 if you were playing in real life. Maybe you can get away with 2. It's a little tight with 2, but it works. I mean, I've played plenty of Spite and Malice with 2 in Blanche, so it definitely works. But I think there's a little bit more freedom, some interesting strategy if you play with 3 decks. I just chose 2 out of nowhere, but then we made this deck counter, like how many cards are left in the deck, and it really only barely supports a 3-digit number. I think it does technically look okay if it's 104. I mean, it would never be 104, but in theory it could because there's 2 decks. I think there's a 5 under here. Sorry, I was pausing to take a sip of some water. Oh, well. Oh, I've probably got this on medium playing speed too. I usually have it on fast. Nothing else fancy I could do here, so we'll just do a little bit of this. But yeah, Spite and Malice is a game I really wanted to incorporate in some fashion, and I'm glad it just barely fit the screen resolution. I don't really want to put the 9 on that 10 because it would be nice to be able to play it. Oh. Okay. That's fine. That animation came out pretty nicely. I wanted some kind of animation to like show that you were putting the cards back in the deck, and I gave that a shot, and I think it turned out pretty nice. The other thing I'm really happy with, I'll call it out when it happens, but kings are wild in Spite and Malice, so you can play a king onto a pile and it's any number, but especially because of the way that we have the screen set up, the cards are right on top of each other. You can't see like the stack of cards. So if there were a pile that had a king on it, you can't tell what card is supposed to come next. So for a while, what I did was I had it actually just straight up change the top index, the top left index, to be the value that it should be. And just for fun, I kept the bottom right one as a king. And I thought that was fun. But somewhere along the line, I got the idea to have a little like ripped corner. There it is. Well, it was only there for a second, but like a ripped corner of a card come in from the side to kind of cover up the top left index, to be like, oh, this is standing in as a thing. So it kind of kept the same idea of like the top left changing, but the bottom right staying to a king. And I just liked the way it looked. So I stuck with it, and I think it turned out pretty nice. Is there 7 under here? Yes. Okay. We're happy with this. We're having a good time. 2, and then a 3, and then a 4. This is one of those games where I just recite numbers. Somewhat unavoidable. I have lost track of what's under all these piles, though. Some people do play with piles that kind of cascade down so you can see what cards are under them. Obviously, we didn't have that option for sure with this screen size, but I kind of liked the added memory aspect then. It's not, I don't know that it's intended to be a memory game, but I kind of liked it. So, works for me. Queen on queen, why not? Why not? Well, that's a bunch of nothings, so we'll do this, I guess. Whoops. Clicking around, changing things. Let's see. Is that a bad idea? I don't think so. We'll find out. That shuffle animation I really liked too. That was one of those moments where it's just kind of like the first thing that came to mind, just the little shake thing, and it looked awesome right from the start. I was like, yep. Problem solved. There were a number of things in the development of this game that were just kind of like quick off the top of our heads thoughts that instantly felt like, yep, of course. That is definitely what we're doing. Yeah, none of this is helpful. Although I could take this past 9. And we'll do this, and then I'll just get a bunch more cards, more card options. Ta-da! Oh, why did I do that? See, poor choice. Poor choice. Do not do. Whoops. But she has a 10 too, so she can play that jack. Okay. Bringing it back. It'll be fine. I don't know. Okay, I have the 4, so I could do this. Now, this is where you gotta pay attention. Is there 7 under here? No. There's not. I really thought there would be. It seemed like something I would have done. Apparently not so. Okay, so here we go. 7, 8. Jack, why not? Yeah? I don't see the harm. Okay, yes, because I could go all the way past. So this is 4, 5, 6. 7, why not? Yep. Sure. Who cares? Do it. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to play this 3, which is not great because she could play the 4, but it was worth it, I think. We'll find out. Oh, that's not great. Seems like she doesn't have a 6, though. Nor do I. Well, oh, that's... Okay, I have a jack, so we could do this. And that is fine. Yes, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 4, 5. Oh, now is there a jack under here is the question. I'm not going to risk it. I should have risked it. Ooh, this is not good. There's a jack under there. Okay, well, I can't play the king as an ace because she's got a 2. So... Oh, a 7, that's coming up, isn't it? That's... Okay, well, I could get it past there. 8. 9, maybe? There was a jack. After all that. 9. We gotta be careful here. So careful. No, calm down. Okay. 5, 6, 2. Oh, 7. I gotta play the 7. That was the whole point. I think this goes all the way up. Yeah. Sure. That's. I don't want to play the 5 because where's there a 6 under there? Because if there is, I do want to play it. See, the memory aspect does make it kind of interesting. Oh, I just don't know. Would I've... Alright, let's not. That's probably going to be it, though. Ooh, wow. Okay, well, now we could find out. There was not a 6. Not under that one, at least. So... Just now realizing I could have gone to... I tried to play the 4, which would have been slightly more important, but... No matter. We press on. Sure. Whew. All right. Okay. Let's do this for reals now. 4. Yes! Oh. Now, is there a 6 under here? Oh, I'm too scared. If there's a 6, I could win. If there's a not, if there's not, I probably lose. It's a me, Mario. I think... I'm gonna wait. I don't know, this might be a bad idea. That didn't do anything. Oh my god. Yes, this is good. This is very good. Because... it doesn't matter. Yes. I'm curious now, though. There was a 6. Yay! Wow. That was kind of an exciting, more exciting end than I expected. Wow. Okay, well. That was pretty good. That was fun. It came down to Spite and Malice, and it was an exciting run. I'm happy with that. That's pretty good. And we emptied our hand once, so we got a bonus penny. I think the best way to round out the night is with a little penny ante here. The final edition. See if we can get ourselves a prize. I hope that's not super loud. I have trouble balancing the audio for this particular moment. All right, it's not looking so great for our prize prospects. Ooh, okay. Looking a little bit better for our prize prospects. Why didn't we get the listening card? Or the visiting card, I mean. Yeah! What do we win? A compass. A little spinning stick humans trust to tell them where the sky changes color. These were super fun to write. Diane and I kind of shared the writing duties for the Blanche prize descriptions. Super fun. Ooh, we get another... Get enough pennies for another run here, but it keeps going. I don't think we're gonna get many, but Oh, see, there it is. I'm not sure that should have happened before, but whatever. It's too late. I'm not fixing it. We get a couple more. All right. Well, that was good. Let's see. We'll go back into our gallery here. We'll see our prize. There it is. So nice. It was found in a backpack and awarded on February 25th, 2026, which is Blanche Day. Carte Blanche is a year old. Hooray! Huzzah! I should have set up some kind of like confetti or balloons or something, but I didn't. So you're just going to have to imagine that that's happening. I could do... Ooh, you know what I could do? As I think. Does this work? No. I mean, I could... Because I could... Oh, wait. Maybe it is. Maybe it did work. So my preview window keeps getting out of date. And this is not a detail anybody cares about, but it's just confusing to me. All right. Well, anyway, the cards falling is the fun part. So here, if I do this. Yeah. See? If I don't change the scene, then it's just an exciting yay. Good old Carte Blanche. Yeah. It's fun stuff. It's the scene transition, but if I don't actually change from one, if I keep the same the same scene, then it just transitions to itself and it's just fun falling cards. That's exciting. Speaking of exciting, let's, while we're here, nobody knows what's going on here, but I got myself some pennies somehow. We get to keep playing. Hopefully it results in prizes. Thus far, no. Okay, that's a little something. We just want one more prize. That's all. But it's not happening. Instead, we're just putting... Oh, I could show you. If you use the crank, it does animate the crank on the machine going around. Do. Yeah, another prize. Hey, a toothbrush. A stick humans rub on their beaks when they're done having orange juice for the day. I'm pretty sure that one was one I wrote because I just really liked the orange juice reference. I feel like I've done that. Like it's one of those weird things where like that it's going to be bad and then you do it anyway and then you're like, I knew this was going to be bad. Why did I have the orange juice? Why am I having orange juice? It's if it's the nighttime, you got to do the orange juice and the toothpaste at the right time. There's a timing to it. It's important stuff. Anyway, orange juice. We can see that in the gallery. Where'd you get that? In a cup. In a cup. Could just imagine somebody having their window open and Blanche is just kind of like, ooh, this is a fancy little thing. Comes in, sneaks it, and brings it to her place of business. Carte Blanche. Very nice. Well, that was an exciting Blanche Day. I don't know about you. I had a good Blanche Day. I hope you did as well. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else particularly interesting to talk about. Thanks for walking through a little Blanche memory lane with me. That was fun. And yes, we were nominated for the upcoming Playdate Community Awards. I don't know when the event is. I would guess it's like next week or the week after. I don't know. They're still announcing categories, so they don't announce the date of the event until they're done with that. So that should be, I imagine they'll announce the date this Saturday. So that should be fun. So you can check that out and see some wonderful Playdate games, get some recognition, and you'll see Blanche show up, nominated for Best Sim or Strategy Game. But yeah, this was good. Thanks so much for joining. And let's see, what other kind of buttons we got here? We got all kinds of buttons. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. Hope you have a wonderful evening and a wonderful rest of your Blanche day. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.